My wife filed for divorce on a Monday. She said I wasn't ambitious enough, wasn't successful enough, that I'd never give her the life she deserved. On Tuesday morning, I sat in a lawyer's office and learned I'd inherited $50 million, plus my grandfather's company, worth another $100 million. She had no idea, and I decided right then I'd never tell her. You're probably thinking, why not? Well, let her walk away. Here's the thing. When someone shows you who they really are, when they look you in the eye and tell you you're not good enough, when they abandon you the second things look better somewhere else, you don't owe them the truth. You owe them exactly what they gave you. Nothing. My name is David Shun. I'm 32 years old, and this is the story of how I let my gold-digger wife walk away from $50 million and how she destroyed herself trying to get it back. It started 7 days before the will reading, when my ex-wife, told me she was in love with someone else. Chapter 1. April 3rd, 6:47 p.m. I came home from work to find Emma sitting at her dining table. Not eating, not on her phone, just sitting. That's when I knew. You know that feeling? When the air in your home feels wrong. When someone you've known for 8 years suddenly feels like a stranger. Yeah, that. We need to talk, she said. 4 words. That's all it took. I set down my briefcase, loosened my tie, sat across from her like we were negotiating a business deal. Maybe we were. I'm not happy anymore, David. I didn't say anything. Just waited. You're a good man. You really are. But I need more. I deserve more. I've met someone else. There it was. I should have been angry. Should have yelled, thrown something, demanded answers. But honestly, I just felt tired. Who? Michael Westbrook. If you don't know that name, let me educate you. Michael Westbrook, tech CEO, featured in Forbes 30 Under 30 3 years ago. Net worth estimated at $70 million. Private jets, penthouse in Manhattan, a different luxury car for every day of the week. Everything I wasn't. He makes me feel alive, David. He's ambitious. He's going places. He's richer than me. She stopped, blinked. It's not about money. It's always about money, Emma. She didn't even deny it. Just looked away. I want a divorce. I've already spoken to a lawyer. We can keep this civil. Split everything 50-50. 50-50. We had maybe $300,000 in combined assets. The house we rented. 2 cars. Some savings. She wanted half of nothing. If she'd waited 7 more days, she could have had half of $50 million. But I didn't say that. I just nodded. Okay. She looked surprised, like she'd expected me to beg. Okay, that's it. What do you want me to say, Emma? You've clearly made up your mind. You've already found my replacement. What's the point of dragging this out? She actually looked disappointed, like she wanted me to fight for her, to prove I cared. But here's what she didn't understand. I loved her. God, I loved her. But I loved myself more than I loved someone who didn't love me back. I'll have my lawyer contact yours, I said. You can have the apartment for now. I'll stay at a hotel. And I left. Just like that. Why didn't tell her? The next morning, I had an appointment with my grandfather's estate lawyer for the will reading. My grandfather had died 3 weeks earlier, and Emma had no idea what was coming. Chapter 2. April 4th, 9 a.m. I sat in the oak-paneled office of Morrison & Associates, one of the oldest law firms in the city. Across from me, Gerald Morrison, 73 years old, my grandfather's lawyer for 40 years. David, he said, sliding a folder across the desk. I'm sorry for your loss. Your grandfather spoke very highly of you. I nodded, didn't trust myself to speak. My grandfather, Richard Shun, had raised me after my parents died when I was 12. He was a quiet man, worked as a factory supervisor, lived modestly, drove a 15-year-old Toyota. I had no idea he had money. Your grandfather was a very private man, Morrison continued. He made some very smart investments in the 70s and 80s. Real estate, Tech stocks before they were popular. He lived well below his means. He opened the folder. The estate is valued at approximately $150 million. I'm pretty sure I stopped breathing. I'm sorry, what? 150 million. The breakdown is as follows. 50 million in liquid assets, stocks, bonds, cash. Another 100 million in the company. Chin Industrial Manufacturing. He was the majority shareholder. I just stared at him. My grandfather wore the same jacket for 10 years. He clipped coupons. He yelled at me for leaving lights on. And he was worth $150 million. He left everything to you, David. The money. The company. All of it. Morrison slid the documents toward me. There are conditions, of course. You'll need to take an active role in the company. Attend board meetings. Make decisions. He didn't want you to just coast on his wealth. He wanted you to earn it. To build on it. I couldn't process it. 24 hours ago, my wife had left me because I wasn't successful enough. And now I was worth more than the man she'd left me for. Mr. Morrison, does anyone else know about this? He shook his head. Your grandfather was very insistent on privacy. The board knows there's a new majority shareholder, but they don't know it's you yet. That announcement will happen at your discretion. So, my wife doesn't know. I wasn't aware you were married. I'm not. Not anymore. We're getting divorced. Morrison's expression didn't change, but I saw something flicker in his eyes. Understanding. I see. Well, given that you've filed before the official transfer of assets, the inheritance wouldn't be considered marital property. It's yours. Entirely. I sat back in my chair. Emma had left me for a richer man, never knowing I was about to become twice as rich as him. Morrison was watching me carefully. May I offer some advice, David? Off the record. I nodded. Your grandfather once told me, the measure of a person isn't what they do when they have everything. It's what they do when they think they have nothing. Your wife left you when she thought you had nothing. That tells you everything you need to know. He was right. Emma hadn't left because we weren't compatible. She hadn't left because she'd fallen out of love. She'd left because she thought she'd found a better deal. Mr. Morrison, let's keep this quiet. I don't want anyone knowing about this. Not yet. He nodded slowly. As you wish. I signed the documents, shook his hand, and walked out $50 million richer. Emma had texted me that morning. Michael's taking me to the Maldives next week. Private villa. I hope you understand this is what I need right now. I stared at that text for a long time. Then I blocked her number. She wanted the Maldives? Fine. Let her have her vacation. Because when she came back, her whole world was about to fall apart. Chapter 3. The Silence. The next 2 weeks were the strangest in my life. By day, I went to work at my boring middle management job. Answered emails. Sat in meetings. Pretended everything was normal. By night, I met with Morrison, with financial advisors, with the board of Chin Industrial. I was living a double life. And Emma had no idea. The divorce was moving fast. She wanted it done quickly. Probably so she could start her new life with Michael without any baggage. Her lawyer sent over the paperwork. 50-50 split of assets, like she'd said. She'd get about $150,000. I signed without argument. Her lawyer actually called mine, confused. He's just agreeing? No fight. No negotiation. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Catherine who Morrison had recommended, just said, my client wants this resolved quickly. He's moving on. And that was that. Meanwhile, Emma was living her best life. Instagram stories every day. Her and Michael on yachts. At Michelin star restaurants. Shopping in Paris. She looked happy. Good for her. I wasn't jealous. I wasn't angry. I was just waiting. Because here's the thing about social media. About people who need to broadcast their happiness to the world. They're performing. Every photo, every caption, every carefully curated moment. It's all a show. And I knew, eventually, the show would end. April 20th. The divorce was finalized. Emma sent me one last text before I'd blocked her. I hope you find someone who makes you happy, David. I really do. You deserve it. Generous of her. I didn't respond. Instead, I focused on my new life, the one she knew nothing about. Morrison introduced me to the board of Chun Industrial. 12 people, old-school businessmen and women who'd worked with my grandfather for decades. They were skeptical at first. I was 32, no manufacturing experience, no business degree, but I had something better. I had my grandfather's instincts, and I've been watching, learning, preparing. Gentlemen, ladies, I said at my first board meeting, I'm not here to coast on my grandfather's legacy. I'm here to build on it. I presented a restructuring plan, modernization, automation, new markets. It was aggressive, risky, but it was smart. By the end of the meeting, I had their respect. And more importantly, I had their trust. May 1st, 1 month after Emma left me, Chun Industrial announced record quarterly profits. Stock price jumped 15%. News outlets picked it up. Business channels, financial blogs. Chun Industrial, under new leadership, sees massive growth. My name wasn't mentioned. Not yet, but it would be. That same week, I bought a new house. Not a mansion. Nothing flashy. Just a beautiful 4-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A view of the mountains. Emma would have loved it. Too bad she'd never see it. I was sitting on the deck one evening, glass of whiskey in hand, when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. David. I recognized the voice immediately. Jessica, Emma's best friend. Hi, Jessica. I know I probably shouldn't be calling, but I wanted to check on you. Make sure you're okay. Interesting. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Emma told me you took the divorce really hard, that you've been struggling. I smiled. Did she? Yeah. She feels really bad, but she says she had to do what was right for her. Of course she did. There was a long pause. David, are you sure you're okay? You sound different. I'm great, Jessica. Better than I've been in years, actually. Another pause. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad. She didn't sound glad. She sounded confused. Tell Emma I said hi, I said, and I hung up. 2 days later, Jessica posted on Instagram a photo of her and Emma at brunch. The caption, checked on an old friend today. Some people really do land on their feet. Folded hands. Emma commented, always. 2 hearts. They had no idea, but they were about to. Chapter 4, May 15th, 6 weeks after Emma left me. Chun Industrial made a major announcement. New CEO taking the company public. Expansion into international markets. Projected valuation, $200 million. And for the first time, my name was attached. David Chun, grandson of founder Richard Chun and new majority shareholder, will assume the role of CEO effective immediately. The press release went out at 9 a.m. By 9:15, my phone was exploding. Texts, calls, LinkedIn messages, former colleagues, old friends, people I hadn't spoken to in years. Everyone wanted to congratulate me. Everyone wanted to reconnect. Funny how that works. But there was one person who didn't reach out. Emma. I knew she'd seen it. She followed business news religiously, always looking for networking opportunities. But she didn't call, didn't text. Radio silence. I wonder what she was thinking. Was she doing the math? Realizing what she'd walked away from? Or was she in denial, telling herself it didn't matter, that she'd made the right choice? I didn't have to wonder for long. May 18th, 11:34 p.m. My phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. 30 seconds later, another call. Then another. On a 4th call, I answered. Hello. David. Emma. Her voice was shaking. I saw the news. Did you? Why didn't you tell me? Tell you what, Emma? About the money. The company. Any of it. Why would I? Silence. We were married, David. Were. Past tense. You filed for divorce, remember? I could hear her breathing. Fast. Panicked. I didn't know. You didn't know because you didn't care to know. You saw a middle management nobody and decided he wasn't worth your time. So you left. That's not. I didn't leave because of money. Yes, you did. She was crying now. David, please. Can we talk? In person. We are talking. I mean, really talk. About us. About maybe trying again. I laughed. Actually laughed. Emma, you left me for a richer man. You posted about your upgrade on social media. You told your friends I was holding you back. And now you want to try again? I made a mistake. Yes, you did. And I'm going to let you live with it. David, I hung up, blocked the number, and went back to my whiskey. She called 17 more times that night, from different numbers, from friends' phones. I blocked every single one. The next morning, she showed up at my office. My assistant buzzed me. Mr. Chun, there's a woman here to see you. She says she's your wife. Sorry, ex-wife. She doesn't have an appointment. I looked at my calendar. Back-to-back meetings all day. Tell her I'm unavailable. She's very insistent, sir. She says it's urgent. I sighed. Fine. Give me 5 minutes. I finished my coffee, straightened my tie, and went to the lobby. Emma was standing by the receptionist's desk. She looked different, thinner, tired. Her hair wasn't as perfectly styled as it used to be. When she saw me, her face crumpled with relief. David, thank God. I've been trying to reach you. Emma, this is my place of business. You can't just show up here. I needed to see you. You won't answer my calls. Because I have nothing to say to you. People were staring. Employees. Clients. Emma noticed. Can we please talk somewhere private? I looked at my watch. You have 2 minutes. Conference room B. We sat across from each other. Just like that night 6 weeks ago. Except everything had changed. I'm sorry, she said immediately. I'm so sorry. I was stupid and selfish, and I threw away the best thing in my life. Emma. She stopped. I don't care. You walked away when you thought I had nothing. That showed me exactly who you are. The fact that you're here now, after finding out about the money, just proves I was right. It's not about the money. It's always about the money with you. Tears were streaming down her face. I love you, David. I never stop. You love what I have. There's a difference. I stood up. We're done here. Don't contact me again. Don't come to my office. Don't try to reach out through friends. We're divorced. Move on. David, please. But I was already walking out. Security escorted her from the building. I went back to work. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong, because Emma wasn't the only one who'd seen the news. Michael had too, and he was about to make a very stupid decision. Chapter 5. Weeks after Emma showed up at my office, I got a call from my head of security. Mr. Chun, we have a situation. What kind of situation? There's a man here claiming to be Michael Westbrook. He's demanding to see you. I actually smiled. Sent him up. 5 minutes later, Michael Westbrook walked in my office. And I'll be honest, I was underwhelmed. He was handsome enough, well-dressed, designer suit, expensive watch, but there was something desperate about him. His smile was too wide, his handshake too firm. David Chun, he said, like we were old friends. Finally, I've been wanting to meet you. Have you? Of course. I've been following Chin Industrial's growth. Very impressive. I'm actually in the market for some strategic partnerships. You're here about Emma. His smile faltered. Yes, that too. I gestured to a chair. Sit. He sat. I didn't. Let me save us both some time, I said. You're here because Emma told you about my money. And now she's having second thoughts about your relationship. And you're worried, rightfully, that she's going to leave you for me. His jaw tightened. That's not. Am I wrong? Silence. I walked to the window, looked out at the city. Here's what's going to happen, Michael. You're going to go home. You're going to break up with Emma. and you're going to move on with your life. Why would I do that? Because she's using you, the same way she tried to use me. Emma doesn't love you. She doesn't love me. She loves money. She loves status. And right now, I have more of both than you do. So yeah, she's having regrets. Michael stood up, angry now. You don't know her like I do. I was married to her for 5 years. I know exactly who she is. She's already reached out to me a dozen times, crying, apologizing, begging for another chance. How long before she stops calling me and starts resenting you for not being me? I could see it in his face. He knew I was right. You seem like a smart guy, Michael. Don't waste your time on someone who's always looking for the next best thing. You deserve better than that. He stared at me for a long moment. Then he laughed, bitter, broken. You know what the fucked up thing is? You're right. She's been different ever since her name hit the news. Distant, always on her phone. And when I ask her what's wrong, she says nothing. I'm not stupid. I know what nothing means. He walked to the door, stopped. For what it's worth, I'm sorry about how things went down. I didn't know you two were still together when we started. Well, yeah, doesn't matter now, I said. He nodded and left. 3 days later, Michael and Emma's breakup hit the tabloids. Tech CEO Michael Westbrook and girlfriend split after 3-month romance. The article was vague, cited irreconcilable differences. But I knew the truth. He'd finally seen her for what she was. Emma's Instagram went dark after that. No more yacht photos. No more champagne brunches. Just silence. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. June 10th. I was having dinner with Morrison, celebrating the successful IPO of Chun Industrial, when my phone buzzed. Email from Catherine, my lawyer. Subject: Emma lawsuit urgent. I opened it. Emma was suing me, claiming the inheritance should have been considered marital property, demanding half, $25 million. Morrison looked up from his steak. Everything all right? I set down my phone, smiled. Actually, everything's perfect, because Emma had just made the biggest mistake of her life. She'd gone to war with me, and I was about to show her exactly what happens when you get greedy. Chapter 6. Emma's lawsuit was filed on June 12th. By June 13th, it was all over the news. Ex-wife sues newly wealthy CEO for half of inheritance. The headlines painted me as the villain, the cold, heartless man who'd hidden his wealth from his wife. Social media erupted. Half the comments, gold digger. She left him when he had nothing. The other half, he should have told her about the money. That's financial abuse. Catherine called me. David, we need to talk strategy. What's there to strategize? The inheritance came after the divorce was filed. It's not marital property. Legally, you're correct. But Emma's team is arguing you knew before the divorce, that you hid assets intentionally. Can they prove that? No, but they don't need to. They just need to make you look bad enough that you'll settle out of court. I leaned back in my chair. I'm not settling. David, Catherine, she left me because she thought I was worthless. She broadcast it to the world. And now, she wants half of what she would have had if she'd just been patient, just been loyal. I'm not giving her a dime. Take this to trial. Catherine was quiet for a moment. Then, all right, but we're going scorched earth. I'm talking financial records, social media posts, testimony from everyone who witnessed her behavior. Do it. The trial was set for August, 2 months away. In that time, Catherine's team built an airtight case. They pulled Emma's Instagram posts, every mention of Michael's wealth, every brag about upgrading. They got testimony from Jessica, who admitted Emma had called me a waste of potential. They pulled text messages where Emma had told friends she was finally free to live the life she deserved. And the nail in the coffin? Michael agreed to testify. He told the court Emma had explicitly said she left me because I wasn't ambitious enough, that she wanted a man who could give her a certain lifestyle. By the time we walked into that courtroom, Emma didn't have a case. She had a public execution. August 14th, the judge read the verdict. In the matter of Emma Lawson versus David Shun, the court finds in favor of the defendant. The inheritance in question was received after the dissolution of marriage and therefore does not constitute marital property. Emma's face went white. Furthermore, the court finds that the plaintiff's claims of financial abuse are without merit. This case is dismissed. Emma sat frozen. Her lawyer whispered something to her. She shook her head, and then she looked at me, really looked at me, and I saw it. The exact moment she realized what she'd lost. Not the money. Me. I walked out of that courtroom and never looked back.